right? So very good morning to all of you. In this class, we'll be discussing about different operations or implementation of different set of operations on a linked list. That is implementation of linked list we'll be discussing. That means how to develop a program for performing different operations on a singly linked list or simply linked list. So this is the code which is going to explain us about how to develop a program for different operations on a linked list. So as usual, these are the required header files which are having some of the functions defined in them which will be using in our program. That's why we have to include those header files. And what this indicates here is the structure definition for each and every node of a linked list. Because we know that the linked list node contains two parts, at least two parts. One is information part, another one is next pointer. That means the information part will contain actual data and next pointer is nothing but the pointer to the next node. So these two together are going to define one node for the linked list. That means what it tells here is we are going to define a node of a singly linked list. This is one node which consists of two parts. What are the two parts? Information part and another one is next part. So what is the purpose of information part? Which is going to contain the actual data which you want to store and process, and next is going to contain the pointer to the next node. So as this is pointing to the next node of the same type, the data type of this next pointer is of type struct node, because this in turn is going to point one more node. This also is going to point a node, not a normal variable. This is also going to point a structure node itself or structure variable itself. That's why its data type is struct node. That's why its data type is struct node. Okay, so this is structure definition. Once we define, later we can declare variables of this particular structure, because we have seen in the previous classes, if you want to declare variables of the structure, first it must be defined. So here we are going to define the structure. That means this is a structure which is going to contain two entities, information part and the next part. Okay. Next we are writing prototypes for not prototypes, we are declaring two pointers. As we have discussed in the algorithms or previous discussions, first is a pointer which will always point to the first node of the linked list, and last is a pointer which will always point to the last node of the linked list. Now as we are just beginning the program, we are making first and last both to point to null. First and last both to point to null. That means somewhere what we are imagining here is fi first is declared which is pointing to null. That means which is pointing to no nodes, which is pointing to no nodes. That indicates that there are no nodes in the linked list. Presently what it indicates, there are no nodes. There are no nodes in the linked list, because just now we have started the flow of program and we are beginning the program in such a way that the linked list is entirely empty, no nodes in the linked list. So how do we indicate that? We indicate that by using this particular these two statements. So what it means here is we are declaring two nodes. First is one node and second is one node. So basically these are nodes. First and last, these are nodes which are pointing to null. That means first is also a node which consists of two parts. Last is also a node which consists of two parts. And what we are assigning here, null we are assigning. That means data part is also not there, pointer is also not there. Data part is also not there, pointer is not there. That means null. First and last two nodes have been declared which are pointing to null. That means there are no nodes in the linked list. So this we will be using it later. So you just remember this. We have created two pointers, first and last, which are pointing to null. Okay. Next thing is these are the prototypes of different functions what we use. because when we are using set of functions in our program, we have to declare their prototypes to the compiler. We have to tell to the compiler that we are using so and so functions in our program. So what are the different prototypes we are declaring to the compiler? We are declaring the insert function, delete function, print function, and search function for the algorithms whatever we have discussed. Now we are converting the algorithm into the program. Now every program execution will start. See what this prototypes tell here is, it is required to insert an element which takes one integer parameter. Deleting function will take one integer parameter. Print function will not take any of the parameters. That's why the arguments here is void. Void indicates it will not take anything. Search, it will take one integer parameter. That means for the search function, you have to pass one integer parameter. You have to pass one integer parameter. Every program execution will start from the main function. So this is beginning of main function. This is beginning of program. Whenever you run a program, always the main is the first function which will begin the execution. So to understand the flow of program in a better way, it is better to start with the main function. Better to start with the main function. Right? So these are the required variables what we are declaring, which we use in our program. Num1, number2, and choice are integer variables. Struct node star location. So if you remember in the algorithms, we have used some node called LOC, that is location, to find the location of the element. So we are declaring a node and we are labeling it as a location. That means location is one node, struct node. That means location is a variable of type struct node. So what this indicates here is, for this struct node, for this structure type, we are declaring one variable. So let us go to the definition. What is this struct node? When you declare variables of this type, we are nothing but we are declaring memory locations for these two fields, info and next fields. So what happens after these statements? Location, one node called location will be reserved. That means memory for a structure variable will be reserved, which consists of two parts. What are the two parts? Information part and next part. I'll be writing short form for now onwards. I for information, N for next or pointer. Now this is the impact. And what about this first line? Simply some variables are being declared. Number1, which can store some integer data. Number2, which can also store some integer data. And choice, which can also store some integer data, whereas location is a structure variable. So we have declared the required variables which we will be using in our program. Now this is the menu which will be displayed as it is to the user, all our print statements. What is that? It is an infinite loop. That means till you are not pressing choice 5, this loop will repeat continuously. That means continuously these choices will be given for the user. What are the choices? We are asking user to enter the choice. If you want to insert, press 1. For delete, 2. Search, 3. Print, 4. 5. Exit. This choice you have, it will be displayed to the user, and user has to select one choice from the given options. Then we are asking user to enter their choice, and that will be stored in a variable called choice. As the linked list has started just now, let us take choice 1. Assume that we have given choice 1. That means we want to create, assume that we have given choice 1 and we want to create the linked list. We want to create the linked list. So where that will be stored? That choice will be stored in a variable called choice, because after scanning that choice from the keyboard, we are storing it at the address of choice. So what is choice now? Choice is 1. Assume that we are giving choice as 1. Now the switch statement is being performed. What happens? Because it is possible that user can give any of the choices during the execution. So you have to execute the corresponding statements which will match to the expression present within the switch statement. What is the choice now? Choice is 1. So perform go on comparing with the expression present in the switch statement with the corresponding case values. Choice is 1 and case is 1, so it is going to match. The very first case itself is going to match. The case is matched. And how the switch statement works? Whenever a case is matched, all the statements present within that case will get executed and remaining cases will not execute. All the statements in that case will execute. What are the statements in this case? So from this bracket to here, all these statements will execute. From opening bracket to closing bracket, all these statements will execute because we are matching with the case number 1. So what it does, it will ask enter the element to be inserted into the list. Simply we are asking user to enter the element. Say if you give 10, that will be stored in a variable called num1. That means now number 1 is equal to 10. Number 1 is equal to 10. So that will be stored in a variable called number 1, and then we are calling insert function. So first I'll complete the overall main function, and later I'll go on explaining one function at a time. Later I'll go on explaining one function at a time. Later I'll, yes, any problem? Later I'll go on explaining one function. So what it does here is it will call the insert function. One second. So this will cause the insert function to be called. That means you have to now go, control will get transferred from this point to the definition of the insert function, execute the insert function, come back again and continue with the flow. That means what it does here is now it will simply give a message saying that the element is inserted successfully, right? And break statement will execute. So this is what happens if you give choice 1. So remember, insert function is the definition of the insert is not yet explained. I'll explain it later. I'll explain it one by one. Now, otherwise, actually, as per the if we go as per the flow, what happens? Now the control will get transferred to definition of the insert function. That means control gets transferred to definition of insert function. Then somewhere at the bottom the definition is available. Then again it will come back. Again it will, the control will be transferred back to the caller. The next statement will be executed. Next statement will executed. What it says, the element is successfully inserted and break. This is what happens when you select choice as 1. When you want to insert elements onto the linked list. So insert, delete, search, all functions we'll see later. Because only here what we are doing is we are reading a number, call the search insert function. Again here we are reading one number, call the delete function. The actual execution will take place in those definitions of the functions. Okay, you assume if you are given choice 2. What is choice 2? Choice 2 is for deleting an element from the linked list. And we ask user to enter the element to be deleted. Which element you want to delete, and that we are storing it in a variable called num1. That we are storing it in a variable called number 1, and then we are calling the deleting function. We are calling the deleting function. Now this again causes what? This is calling the delete function. So the control will get transferred to the definition of the delete function, delete the element, come back again and go with the next statement. What is the next statement here? It is possible whenever you want to delete a number, the number may not be present in the list due to any reasons, or the linked list can be empty, or the element may not be present in the linked list. In that case, the deletion will not be successful. The deletion will not be successful. So in that case, what happens? Obviously, the return value present in the num2 will be some negative large number. If that is the case, we say that element is not present in the linked list. Else we say that element is successfully deleted from the linked list. So we are going exactly as per the definitions of the algorithms, or the discussions of the algorithms. What we do, we ask user to enter the element which you want to delete, store it in a variable, then call delete function by passing number 1 as a parameter. If you want to delete 10, 10 will be passed. If you want to delete 80, 80 will be passed. Call the function, delete, and come back. The delete function will be returning something. If the deletion is successful, it will return back the appropriate number which it has deleted. If deletion is not successful, then minus 9999 will be returned. In that case, what we display here is the element itself is not present or deletion was not successful. Else part, what we write, the element has been successfully deleted. Now we have to see the definition of the delete function also. Definition of insertion, definition of deletion. Then coming to the next, case 3. Case 3, what it involves? Case 3 is for search. Case 3 is for search. That means set of linked list elements are given to you and you want to find one element from the given linked list. You want to find one element from the given linked list. So enter the element to be searched. So that element will be stored in a variable called number 1 and then call the search function as it is. As usual, we are calling the search function, and whenever you call a search function, the return value will be stored in a variable called location. So two possibilities that what this location, see after this statement, what it says, comment line explains what is that. We are calling the search function. We will call the search function. Somewhere here it is present. Call search function. The definition of which we will see later one by one. Call search function and get back the return value and continue with the next statement. Call search and get the return value. And whenever you call search, two possibilities. Either the element can be present or element may not be present. So when the element is not present, obviously location will be having some null value. Nothing is returned. It will be having null value. So we are comparing if the location is it equal to null. That means the search, the element what we are searching for is not present in the linked list. In that case, what happens? It will display a message saying that element is not present in the linked list. Which element? Whatever you gave, number 1. So this is the format specifier, argument for this format specifier. Percentage is not present. If you are given 10, it will display like 10 is not present in the linked list. That is what. Now, another possibility is, because we are exactly displaying where actually it is present. We are displaying exactly where actually the element is present. So it is possible that whatever you are searching for an element, that can be the last element in the linked list. That can be last element in the linked list. That means we are comparing the location of the search with the pointer where last is pointing to. If they are matching, what we say, we simply say that the element percentage D is present at the last, or that is nothing but the last element present in the linked list. Here we are displaying the location because we are searching. If the search is successful, along with successful notation, we are telling where actually the element is present. Else part, see, it is not present, it is last. Else part, it is somewhere, it is present somewhere after the after some node. If it is present at the second place, it is present after the first node. If it is present at the 5th location, it is present after the 4th node. So that's what we are printing here is else part. The element, this element is present where? It is present at the location. That means it is present before the element percentage D. Before which element? Before location pointer next pointer info. Before location pointer next pointer info. It's going to display that location. That means briefly I'll explain what happens with this, because this is not present in that code. Whatever function definitions we are going to discuss, that this part is not there. That's why I have to cover it here itself. Some nodes, let us assume some node, and this is last and this is first. Okay, when we have this situation, assume after traversals, this is the location of the element. This is the location of the element. That means after searching, we have found this location. Assume these are the elements 10, 20, 30, and 40. This is what is the location. Now, what we are trying to display here is element percentage D. If you want to search for 20, what it will display? Element 20. 1 second. Element 20. 1 second. Element 20. Element 20 is present before element percentage D. So this is format specifier. This argument is for this format specifier, and this entire thing is for this second format specifier. Now, what you read by this, element 20 is present before element. Which element? Element 20 is present before element 30. Before element 30 in the linked list. This is what we want to print. Element 20 is present before element 30 in the linked list. So how to identify this? That is what is code for this. What it says, location pointer next. That means first you go to the location pointer next. What is the location? Location is this element. Location pointer next is what? This element. This element or this node. When you go to that node, obtain the information part of that. Obtain the information part of that. What is the information part of this? Information part is 30. So that is what it is printing. So how it will access that? If you want to access this 30, go to location pointer next first, or go to the next node of the location. Location is this node. Next node of the location is 30. So once you go to that node, just extract the information part of that. Extract the information part of that. Right? So what it causes? It causes the pointer to point to the next node of the location. Just go to the next node. And after this, from wherever you go to the next node, whichever next node you go, extract the information part of that. So what is the information part? 30, and this 30 will be taken and printed it here. So this part is not there in that definition. Again, for explaining this part, I have to come back again and then explain this. So that's why. So how actually that works? I have taken the example here itself. Case 4 is for displaying all the elements in the linked list. So simply we are calling the print function or display function and display all the elements in the linked list. Case 5 is default case. That means if you don't want to do any of these options, and if you want to do only none of this, then you have to give default choice. Then we'll terminate the execution of the program. That is exit 5. If you want to stop execution, you have to give 5. If you give any other than these 1 to 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, other than this, if you give any other choice, and that is nothing but the incorrect choice, and user has to enter the proper choice. User has to enter the proper choice. Now what we have seen till now, structure declaration, prototypes of all the functions, and how the main program is calling all other functions and getting the return values. Now let us see individual functions one by one. Individual function one by one. Right, this is the insert function. Insert box. Right. So this is a function to insert some nodes in the linked list. Inserting some nodes onto the linked list. So before we insert some nodes, we know that we had declared, if you remember in the beginning, I had told you to just remember, we had declared 2 pointers. What were there? First, which was pointing to null, and last is also pointing to null. I will write F for first, L for last. Right? Now this was the assumption what we got in the beginning. First and last, that means there are no nodes. Now the entire linked list is empty. Now before you want to insert some node onto the linked list, what is the procedure? First you have to obtain one node, get one node, allocate memory for that, get one node, allocate memory for that, store the data in that, then link with the existing linked list. So that's what we are doing here. We are declaring given one node of type struct node. What is the name for that node? PTR. That means one node we are declaring. One node we are declaring. What is the name given for that node? Name is PTR. That means what we are doing here is, this is dynamic memory allocation which we have studied in the very first module. What happens here is, we are calling malloc function, malloc dynamic memory allocation function, which is going to allocate memory during the execution. Because linked list are the examples for dynamic memory allocation during the execution. Allocate memory of what size? Of this particular struct node. That means two members it has, memory will be allocated for both the members individually. And that allocated, whatever memory gets allocated after execution of this RHS, that will be assigned to PTR. Now PTR is nothing but what? PTR is a variable or a structure variable which has location for two of its members. What are the two members of this structure? Information part and the next part. Information part and the next part. Now we have allocated memory. Once you have allocated the memory, so let us see, we will create the linked list with these elements 10, 20, 30. So I'll explain 3 times, it will be very much sufficient. 3 elements, let us insert 3 elements in the linked list. What is the first number you want to insert? 10. So assume that you have given 10. See here, we are receiving one parameter from the function call. What is that value in the first case? Value is 10. So how we get this value? We have to slightly go back to the insert call, whatever we have studied just now. Yes. Case 1. What was case 1? In the case 1, we were calling insert function. We are calling insert function here by passing num1 as a parameter. What is num1 here? Num1 is 10. That is the very first element what you want to insert. Now control gets transferred to the definition of the function. And here we have received 10 as the value. Okay. Now that value must be stored. Whatever value is passed or whichever element you want to insert into the linked list, take that value and store it in the information field of the PTR. Or in other words, PTR pointer info or the info field of the PTR will get a value of what? 10. Info field will get a value of 10. Now once you have copied, now our node is ready. This node you should take and attach to the linked list. But before you attach, you should check, are there any nodes in the linked list or the linked list is empty? Because if the linked list is empty, what happens? This itself will become the first node. If the linked list is empty. In our case, it is true. In our case, what it is? The entire linked list is empty. So how do you say entire linked list is empty? Because first and last both are pointing to null. So that's what we are checking. Check whether the first is null or first is pointing to null. If it is true, what it indicates? If first is pointing to null, that indicates there are no nodes in the linked list, and whatever node you have created just now, that itself becomes the very first node of the linked list. So that's what we are doing here. What we are doing, to this node make first and last both to point, because this itself will become the first node and this itself will become the last node, because there are no nodes in the linked list. And simply what you have to do, store in this field now. In this field you have to store null. So that's what we are doing. What is that? PTR point next equal to null. What we have made here is make first and last both to point to PTR, or in other words, PTR is assigned to last as well as it is assigned to first. So now first and last both are pointing to this node only, this PTR node only. It is PTR, not RTR. It is just PTR. Okay. The very first node which we have inserted, very first node we have inserted. When if is true, else will not execute. The if else execution we must know. When if is true, else will not execute. When if is true, else will not execute. That means what happens now? After insertion, the control will get transferred back to the function call from wherever we had called. From where we had called, the function was called from this particular. Yes, this is the place from where we called that. Right? From here we had called the insert function. We were trying to insert one element from this place. Right? Okay. Once you insert successfully, what is the next statement here? This is where we had called the function. Now insert function we have seen successfully. And what it says, we have successfully inserted the element and break. And what happens now, while loop, once again it will get displayed and it will again ask user to enter the choices. It will again ask user to enter the choices. One for insert, delete, display, search, and all those. So assume you have to you want to insert one more element. 10, next element was 20, and next element was 30. Now 10 is successfully inserted. Assume that you want to insert one more element, 20. You give again choice 1. That 20 will be stored in number 1 and again call the insert function. Now insert function will get called again. Insert function will get called again. Now we have to go to the definition of the insert function. So let us go to the definition of the insert function and try to insert one more element once again. So let us go to the definition of the insert function. Yes. Right. So now we have to perform insertion of one more node. So I'll erase all this. This was taken assumed for the previous iteration. What is the value present here now? In this value, what we have is we have 20. Why? Because now we have passed 20 from the main function. From main function, we have passed 20 as the value, and that 20 has to be inserted into the linked list now. That 20 has to be inserted into the linked list. As usual, what is the procedure? If you want to insert any node into the linked list, first declare the structure variable or declare the node, allocate memory for that. So what is the first step? Again, we will take new node called PTR, that I will try to write it here. PTR. Now this is not essential. This will not be required now because now PTR is pointing to some other node. This is not our PTR. Right? So allocate memory for that. Memory gets allocated successfully. So this line is over. Next, whatever element you want to store that in the information field of the PTR, because PTR consists of two fields, information field and the next field. And store that data in the information field of the PTR. So which data you are storing now? 20 you are storing. So PTR pointer info is equal to value. PTR pointer info is equal to value. PTR pointer info is equal to value. What is value? Value is 20. 20 will get stored here. Now this is our new node is ready. This you have to take it and attach it to this. You have to take and attach it to this because this link should be established now between the first node which was existing and the new node which we have created just now. Okay. Now how to insert that node? Before inserting that new node onto the linked list, you should check whether it is the very first node, not first node, whether the linked list is empty. If the linked list is empty, what happens? Then this itself becomes the very first node. Now that is not the case in our case. So what is here? Is first is equal to null? Is it true? No. First is not equal to null. First is pointing to some node called 10. First is pointing to some node called 10. So in this case, it is not true. First is not equal to null. That means this entire statement will not execute if statement is false. When if is false, we know that else part will execute. When if is false, else part will execute. So what is the else part? We have to just perform linking between these two nodes. We have to perform linking between these two nodes, and we are inserting at the right side or at the last end of the linked list. That means now this should become the last node. This should become the last node. Or in other words, last pointer next. What is last pointer next? Last is pointing to this node. First is also pointing to this node. What is last pointer next? Last pointer next is this field. I'll show it with a different ink. Why it is coming. Okay. Class Salima, pass it down. 5 minutes. Class. मैडम बोलो ठीक है नहीं क्लास है मैडम बोलते हम 5 मिनट छोड़ के So now what we have to do here is we have to perform linking last pointer next. This field should be made to point to this newly created node. This field should be made to point to the newly created node. So how we can do that? Last pointer next, take this and make it to point to PTR. Last pointer next, make it to point to PTR. Last pointer next, make it to point to PTR. That is one statement. What is the next statement? Once you insert this new node, obviously this node becomes the last node. When this node becomes the last node, the next field of this PTR, this should be made as null. This should be made as null. That means now this has been made as null. PTR pointer next. This PTR pointer next, make it as null. And once you make this last pointer next to point this node, this will not be null now. This will not be null. So I have to erase that part. This will not be null now. Why it is not null? Because now it is containing address of some other node. Now it is containing address of some other node. Now the next thing here is once you insert attach this node to this very first node, now this becomes the last node. Earlier this was the last node. Now this becomes the last node. That means the last should point to this node now. The last pointer should point to this node. That's what is implemented in this third statement. What this statement says, last equal to PTR. That means last should point to the same node where PTR is pointing to. Last should point to the same node where PTR is pointing to. When the last is pointing to this node, now it will not point to this node. Now you should remove that pointer to this node. Now last is not pointing to this first node, now it is pointing to second node. So what we have done, we have inserted successfully second element onto the linked list. We have inserted successfully second element onto the linked list. Two elements we have successfully inserted. First, last pointing to the, this is containing null 10 and 20. So two nodes we have successfully inserted. Right? After this insertion, what happens? Control will again get transferred to the main function from the location where we had called the insert function. So we had called the insert function from this location. The element is successfully inserted, and we are printing the message saying that the element is successfully inserted and break. Again, the while loop will display all the options to the user. Again, the while loop will give all the options. Now, again, assume that you will enter once again 1, because we want to insert one more element called 30. If you are given once again choice as 1 and element is 30, that 30 will be stored in a variable called number1, and once again call the insert function by passing num1. Now what is present in num1 in this case? Num1 has a value of 30. We'll call the function once again, and let us go to the definition of insert function once again. Yes, this is where we are present now at the definition of the insert function. Right, what will be, erase this part which are not required. Okay, now what is present in value? In value we have 30, because we want to insert one more new element called 30. So repeat the same procedure. What is that procedure? If you want to insert a new node onto the existing linked list, declare a structure variable called ptr, allocate a memory for that. Declare a structure variable called ptr and allocate memory for that. As I'll be inserting it here, I'll try to show it here. This is the ptr for which we have allocated memory, which consists of two parts as well. What we know, information part and the next part. Information part and the next part. Now, whichever data you want to attach to this linked list, existing linked list, store that data in the information field of the ptr. That means ptr pointer info will get the value. That is ptr pointer info. The value will be stored in ptr pointer info. So what is that value which we are trying to attach? 30. So 30 will be stored here. 30 will be stored here. Again, check this condition. Is it true in our case? Is first is equal to null? No. Where first is pointing? First is pointing to some node. That means there are some nodes present in the linked list. These statements will not execute. Remember, these statements will execute only for the first time. Whenever you are inserting first node in the linked list, from remaining node onward, these statements will not execute. Now, when the if part is not true, as per the norms of programming, the else statement will execute. We will go for the execution of else statements. So what we do in the else part? We just have to perform linking between these two. How to perform? Make this next field information and next. Make this next field of the last node, whatever may be the last node, take its next field and assign it to ptr. That is, last pointer next should be equal to ptr. What we are doing, last pointer next should be equal to ptr. That is, take the next pointer of the last node, very last node, and assign it to the present ptr, present node which we want to attach. Once you perform this operation, now this will not be null. This will not be null because now it is containing address of some other node. It is not null now because it is containing address of some other node. Right? Now, next thing is, now once you attach this new node to this existing linked list, now this will become the last node of the linked list. This will become the last node of the linked list. That means this should L or last pointer should point to this node. So this simply we can write it by the statement. Yes, just interchange this. That is also fine. It will not make any difference. You'll take first ptr pointer next, just make it null as well because there is no next node. There is no next node, make it null. Then last pointer, that means this last should point to ptr. Now this will become the last node. That's what is happening. Last equal to ptr. So wherever ptr is pointing to, for the same node, the last will also point. Now L is pointing to this node. So when L is pointing to this node, it will be removed from here. What we have done, we have successfully inserted 3 nodes onto the linked list. We have successfully inserted 3 nodes onto the linked list. That is 30 is inserted. It is null, and last is pointing here information field and the next field. Assume you call once again the insert function, and you want to insert one more element called 40. The value will be 40 here. So how do you insert 40? What is the procedure? First, declare a structure variable, allocate memory for that structure variable, all the variable as ptr, and ptr will have two fields, information and next field. In the information of field of ptr, store the data which you want to store 40, and check is it the very first node in the linked list. No, in that case go for the else part. What we are doing in the else part, just to make this pointer or next field of the last node to point to the ptr. That means what we do, last pointer next, this will be made to point to the ptr, then ptr pointer next will be made to null, then last will be made to point to the ptr, last will be made to point to the ptr, right? We have inserted one more element. So very simple procedure for inserting, very simple procedure for inserting an element onto the linked list. This was the function for inserting an element, and remaining functions we shall see it in the next class, because this singly linked list I'll be covering in depth, very in detail and slowly, because the remaining circular and doubly are very similar to this. So I'll take remaining functions in the next class.